So I just got back from Neil Blomkamp's newest film, Chappie, that was released today, and I don't really understand these film critic reviews because I skimmed over these reviews after I saw it, and I really don't see their criticisms, and I realize that film reviews and game reviews are all subjective to one's opinion. But this film was utterly awesome. In fact, this is one of Neil Blomkamp's, I think, one of his best films since District 9. While I thoroughly enjoyed Elysium, there was something a tad bit off compared to his other previous films. But his newest installment of science fiction, Chappie, I absolutely loved. In terms of visuals, well, I can't have no complaint there because his CGI and visuals with motion capture, the robots and the animations look so fluid, it looks like it's an actual person, which technically, the motion capture of those types of CGI things is someone real, but then they animate and CGI over it, but it just looks so realistic. I've never had any complaints with Neil's visual effects. However, I should note the soundtrack of this film is done by Hans Zimmer, and some of the main characters are actually from a South African Johannesburg rap rave band. Yes, I said that, and that actually comes into where my actual complaint about this film was one of the female actresses, yo-landi. She's one of the female characters in this film, and I had a really hard time understanding when she spoke. She's gonna talk like in this high-pitched voice, kind of like this. Oh, Chappie, Chappie. It was this really high-pitched voice. I think that's her natural voice, and there's nothing wrong with that, but throughout the film, I really struggled to understand a lot of her vocabulary and things that she was saying throughout the film. There are a few music tracks in the film by Die Antwoord, which is the band who actually, they're all members and actors in this film, which in all honesty I think did a great job of playing the roles that they were designed for. And to be honest, when you watch this film, you're gonna come out and say, man, I think I hated almost everyone in that movie. Because what this film does is does a fantastic job of showing you how corrupt people really are and the things that they will do to get what they want. In my personal opinion, this is Neil's first film that I actually felt very emotional towards, specifically the robot Chappie. And this is his first film that I actually felt something towards a character that he developed. And to make me get all emotional over a character that's technically just visuals, that takes some work. If you're gonna see this movie expecting some science fiction action movie the whole way through, you're gonna be actually disappointed because this film starts off very slow, very slow, very slow. It's a very slow pacing film, and then up until like the last 35 minutes, 40 minutes, that's where it picks up. That seems to be kind of how Neil does his films, is everything's slow up until a point, like with District 9, and then the last 45 minutes, boom, 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 bang, everything just goes. Now, one of the things that I did love about this film is it did not have a sad ending, which is what I was getting all emotional about. I was like, no, this ending of this film is gonna, I thought I predicted it, but I was actually wrong in my prediction. And instead, when the credits scrolled onto the screen, I smiled instead of cried. Hugh Jackman does an excellent job of being an asshole, douchebag, ex-war veteran who has some serious anger problems and doesn't get what he wants. And despite Sigourney Weaver being one of my favorite actresses, she really wasn't a big part of this film. She was only in a few scenes, but nonetheless, she is not a bad actress, and I've really never seen a performance where she's ever sucked. Although I am happy that she's going to be in the next Alien film, directed by, well, Neil. So what exactly do I think of this film? Well, this is one of Neil's best science fiction films to date as of right now. I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I loved it. It's going to be something that I stock on my shelf, and that's something that says a lot for me because I don't buy a lot of Blu-ray movies when they come out. But Chappie is one of those rare exceptions along with District 9. If you had a love for District 9, then you will have a love for Chappie because I believe Chappie is the next installment in the science fiction franchise which does science fiction justice and explores many different moral issues such as consciousness, what people do when they abuse technology and a technology gets into the wrong hands, and how those people will use that technology to hurt others. This film actually explores a lot of human questions about the human condition, but it doesn't really answer them. And perhaps that's why these film critics are mad, is because it explores these questions of human consciousness, of human struggle, but it doesn't fail to give answers to it. But films that pose those type of questions, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a bad thing. Rather, it expects you, the consumer, the viewer, to make a decision for yourself. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this has been my review of Chappie. I would recommend you go see it. I loved it. And if I could, yes, I would replace my dog with a human robot like Chappie, if Chappie was actually real.